In the women's all-around at the World Championships, the United States dominated. American champion Simone Biles took gold, and her teammate Kyla Ross the silver. It's the third time that's happened in American gymnastics history. Today, the event finals and a chance to win more. And a return of a familiar face, Michaela Maroney, whose London mistake led to a look we'll never forget, and a mission she hopes takes her to Rio in 3 years. Today, the World Championships on NBC. Get the gold medal. NBC Sports presents the 2013 World Gymnastics Championships. Antwerp in central Belgium, a city that reminds us every day that its history goes back centuries. The Sports Palace in the middle of it all, under a huge wooden roof in front of 18,000. Today, the final day of competition for the men and later the women. And we begin with a man who, as Tim Daggett said, is the king of the sport. He's already won his 4th all-around world championship medal. I'm Al Troutwig, also joined by Nastia, and in the all-around, this is what Kohei Uchimura looked like.
Absolute perfection. Just that small hop on the landing, but I'll tell you what, as I said, right there, Kohei Uchimura, the greatest that ever lived.
These are the event finals. One performance for gold, silver, and bronze. Obviously, this is the floor exercise.
And not just Kohei, but his teammate that we'll see later. Their routines revolve around these combination tumbling. They actually do no double flips in their routines. It's actually really not a great thing. The code of points, the rules should encourage those double flips, but he's able to rack up so many points with just these twisting elements that it's not worth him to take the risk.
Well, on the women's side, there is that rule of having a double flip. So, you know, it is interesting that on the men's side, they can do all the twists that they're capable of doing.
Is it possible he can still be part of this 7 years from now in Tokyo?
Well, if there's anybody that could, it's him. And what he has going for him is he is just so light. He's like a feather. And so the pounding's not as extreme, but that is a long, long ways away. Triple twist. Just like he does it every single time.
Bang of a landing for Kohei Uchimura.
A lot of twisting going on here. 2.5 twists to a front flip with 1.5 twists. This skill actually named after great American Kurt Thomas. And this is Kohei 101. Beautiful in the air and just make it look so easy. Oh, that frustrates people.
Not him. He likes what he's done.
Yeah, but he's got some serious challengers coming his way. It's about all that Kohei could do.
8 men qualify for each of the event finals. He sets the standard right now with a 15.5. The United States just missed getting a medal in the all-around when Sam McCulloch faltered on the high bar. But they've got numerous players here today. Steve Legendre, he comes in with the final one to qualify here as the 8th man.
And he is definitely going to be a huge player. He has extraordinary tumbling, very high difficulty.
But it's a totally different style from what we just saw from Kohei. Lots of double flips right there in combination. Super hard, but you saw that 3/10 slide back. This one, crazy. 2.5 twists. Uber powerful, but one of the areas Steve really needs to get a grip on is all of these little hops. Now that one right there. That one shouldn't happen.
Definitely gave that away.
Simple little pass for Steven. In a lot of ways, I think this is one of the most difficult routines to perform. But you gotta put your feet down and you can't move in an event finals. Another big double flip here. This one's called an Arabian in a piked position, bent over position, and another hop. And I would say that was wider than shoulder width apart. If it is, it's not just a 10, it's 3 10s.
And all those little hops is really what's going to cost you a chance to get a medal in the event finals.
But you can't fault him for his difficulty because it is crazy hard. 2.5 twisting double back somersault. This one beautiful. Laid out skill into a rollout. No deduction there at all. But as we saw from Kohei, there's nothing like putting an exclamation mark at the end of a routine and sticking that dismount, and it's going to be a good score.
15.366 right there with Uchimura for now. The United States has qualified another gymnast for this event final. That would be Jake Dalton, and he'll be coming up. And don't forget later, the women's event final as well. The World Gymnastics Championships are brought to you by P&G, by AT&T, Rethink Possible, and by USA Gymnastics. Begin here, go anywhere. The men's floor exercise event final continuing in Antwerp, Belgium. Jake Dalton qualified with a 15.166. He'll need to do better than that, I think, Tim, to get on the podium.
Absolutely, and it's all going to come down to landings. That is what is going to make the difference. He also does some of those big double flip skills right here. That one, you saw the hop. Boy, that was beautiful, though. See that brace on his right thumb. He chipped a piece of bone and tore a bit of a ligament off and causes him some pain, but he says it's not so bad. He told me he'll have it fixed after the World Championships. Good landing, slight little step. This is a rollout skill. Great. Same dismount we just saw from Kohei Uchimura, a triple twist. And that is what you need right there. Coach Mark Williams, very pleased with that exercise. If you got to pick a pass that you're going to stick, you want to stick the dismount for sure. Last thing the judges see.
And it is important to note that in the event finals, the scores start from 0. Nothing is carried over from the qualification rounds. So this was a great routine that is going to put him in medal contention.
Without a doubt.
Just the way we practiced it.
No, this could be close here. You know, still got a lot of great competitors to come, but
It puts him in first.
wow.
He's ahead of Uchimura with a 15.6.
Actually has a few tenths.
That could be a career moment for American Jake Dalton.
Absolutely. He's got a few tenths higher of a maximum score than Kohei, and he capitalized. That stuck landing at the end, I tell you, that is the whole deal right there.
2 more gymnasts to go. From Great Britain, Daniel Purvis.
also a member of that British team that made history winning the bronze medal in 2012. We've been talking about how great the Japanese are, and Daniel says that he idolizes them because they do the tough stuff and they make it look easy. And he does that as well. Very stylish gymnast. Keep going over this, but that right there, that's called a Japanese handstand. So Japan has an amazing culture in the sport of gymnastics. Very difficult combination pass, but that was a 3-10 step right there.
Right, it's very different from what Jake Dalton did at the end.
Exactly.
Dans les qualifications à cet engin avec une note de 216-233. C'est une très
Beautiful
belle
mount though,
prestation.
double twisting double.
Je vais vous inviter, si vous avez l'occasion de le faire, de compter le nombre de drilles que vous allez voir
Nice.
dans sa série.
Laid out 1.5 twisting, 1 3/4 flip.
Jake Dalton probably is not rooting against Daniel Purvis, but he's rooting against his score, and right now he's still in the top spot. Now it's Purvis who has to be nervous about whether he'll get a medal or not.
Absolutely. And if he's a thinking man, he knows that it is in jeopardy. This guy has to fall all over the place. And quite frankly, Al, when he started doing this pass right here, the entire collective gymnastic world said impossible. Can't be done. 3.5 twists to a double full. That is so hard. Ridiculously hard. And it just never stops. Now he's hopping around a little bit. That first pass was perfection.
But his start value is so high.
It is in the rafters. You know, Uchimura is so popular. There's always a huge contingency of Japanese press, but the press, all they wanted to talk about was Kenzo Shirai. And this is a quad twist. Nobody else doing this right here. At the end of all of this. Oh! Oh! Out of Coke Clean, he is the champion. Absolutely. Unreal. He just spins like crazy. And how do you stick that?
Well, he did it in qualifying, and now he did it again.
22 twists. I saw my good friend Peter Vidmar, who is on the FIG commission, and he said, I'm going to count out how many twists he does. And he goes, oh, 22. And he goes, let me think back to what I did in the Olympics. 2. That didn't take very long.
Well, that's a gold medal smile. A 16. That puts him first. Shirai takes the gold medal, but Jake Dalton can forever say, on one day and in one event, he beat the greatest gymnast that there has ever been for a silver medal. Still to come, Michaela Maroney trying to forget a mistake in London by stepping toward Rio with a medal here at the Worlds. To the women's event final on the vault. And one of the most famous faces in this event is Michaela Maroney. And you could argue what happened to her in the Olympics made her more famous than any of the Fierce Five. And there was a reason it was so shocking. It was because of the standards she set with her vaulting. We take you back to the 2011 World Championships. Higher than the men, with more amplitude than the men, and success atop the podium. Thus the expectations and then the reality as they collided at the London Olympics. In the team finals, this is what things sounded like.
state of the art right here. Unbelievable! That should be a 10 right there.
Awesome. There was nothing wrong. Nothing.
16.5 judges give it up.
So the team won their gold medal. And how great was Michaela Maroney's vault compared to the greatest male gymnast of all time?
Look at the height difference right there. She's a foot higher.
And not to mention, if you look at the two tables, the men's vaulting table is actually higher than the women's table, and she still gets higher in the air.
Then came the event finals, and the expectation was gold, and nothing changed after the first vault.
Absolutely. In 2012, Michaela Maroney was unquestionably the greatest vaulter in the world. I'd never seen her do a vault that wouldn't earn her that gold medal. Until this.
She still won the silver medal, but while on the podium, she flashed a look that many people copied, even the President of the United States. Here's what she was saying in Antwerp.
I am here right now because at the Olympics I didn't get to defend that title, and that was the main reason I had all that motivation to come back and get my butt over here today.
And we will see where that motivation takes Michaela Maroney. As the draw has it, she'll go last here. We'll start things off with Julia Steingruber of Switzerland, who's had some nice moments here.
Oh, absolutely. In the all-around competition like we saw yesterday, she was very strong on the floor exercise and the vault, which happens to be probably her best and strongest event. So we'll see what she can do in this event final.
Really, vaulting comes down to two different things, and they'll do two different vaults in the competition. It comes down to, you see that 6.2 right there? That means her maximum score is a 16.2. You got to have the high difficulty, and you got to have the landing. They'll take the two scores, add them together, and that'll produce the score that needs to be beaten. And she really does this vault quite well. Said this during the all-around, but haven't seen anybody do this like Alicia Sacramone. This is the closest, not quite as good, but a phenomenal landing right there. That was actually much better than she did in the all-around finals. Handspring laid out front. She'll do 1.5 twists.
And what the judges really look for in a vault like this is the landing, to make sure you're not piking down. Your hips or your chest needs to be straight up, and she did a great job.
Was that a stuck landing or not?
No, it wasn't absolutely a stuck landing. They'll take 1/10 of a point. They take 1/10 of a point for breathing, though, in gymnastics at this point in time.
And in the event finals on the vault, they will do two different vaults, which means they have to be from two different families, the entry, whether it's a Yurchenko or a front entry. So we'll see a second vault from her right now.
This is nicely as well. Oh, almost another stuck landing. You know, we sound negative at times because we're always saying that this was deducted, that was deducted. That's the way the sport works. You start with a maximum score, and those judges are relentless. Like right there, you see the flexed feet, taking points away.
And that's where the start value comes in. That's your maximum before you do anything.
Exactly. But those were two really great vaults.
It's the final day. You want to somehow find a way to get a medal, and right now Steingruber is in the first spot. And now there are some athletes who defy the clock, but there is no one who defies the clock like Oksana Chuzrina.
You know, it's interesting. She actually competed with my dad when he was competing. Then I was able to compete with her, and she is still going.
Crazy, crazy.
She's a mom.
For a long time, she's been a mom. Same vault we saw from Steingruber. Whoa, jeez. That was not a good one.
She's 38 years of age. And if you remember the story, her son had a very rare illness. And she actually went to Germany for a while so that she could get him medical attention.
He's doing great, by the way. You see a penalty right there. You have to finish inside of the lines. If you step out of bounds, you incur a deduction. But that really was not a good vault for Oksana. It's amazing, too. She landed in a very awkward position. Many gymnasts, their bodies kind of can't handle that. But at 38, she's still an amazing gymnast.
Well, she still remembers the perfect 10. Not too many women in this competition remember that at all. Still to come, the new world champion Simone Biles tries to add another one to her resume. In a few minutes in the women's vault final, Michaela Moroni. But first up is the new world all-around champion, Simone Biles. The same year she became the American national champion, and this is how she won the women's all-around final. She started out as the leader, survived the beam, gave up her lead just slightly to Kyla Ross, and then nailed it on the floor exercise.
Yes, she did. In this, she ended on her best and strongest event and showed not only that power and that execution, but that fire and eyes to win that title.
She is explosive in every way.
And you'll see it right here. This is gigantic. Wow. You know, and it's funny because Michaela Moroni, you know, she's got to go out and do a great job because Simone is fantastic here. And that was almost flawless. Just the hop back on the landing. It's going to get a very big number. I still think Michaela flies higher, but she is really going to put the pressure on. She's got to do another vault, and it has to be different. It has to be from what we call a different category.
Wow, 15.933. Huge. Just a little over 3/10 of a deduction. How much different does the second vault have to be?
Well, it has to be what's called from a different category or family. So she contacted the table going backwards. This time she'll contact the table going forward. So it's considered a forward vault. She won the gold medal in the all-around, but she's a little greedy. Wants another one, maybe. And typically they do their difficult one first, and the second one not quite as hard. This one has a maximum score of a 15.6, but she gives almost nothing away on this ball. Beautiful half twist in the air, great body position.
And it's going to put her in first. And that means she's going to win a second world championship medal because there are only 2 gymnasts left. So it's Simone Biles, Julia Steingruber of Switzerland. What's she feeling right now? Oksana Chusovitina in third. And she could easily fall off the podium with these next 2. Hong Eun-jung.
She's actually the Olympic champion on this event, not from 2012, but from 2008. North Korea was banned from the Olympics because of age falsification. And waiting around, big vault. That's that Aminar, the same thing that we saw from Simone Biles. It was good. But what the difference is, she doesn't have enough airtime to prepare for the landing. She's twisting basically right into the floor. You see right there.
Almost gets a little scary.
Absolutely.
So few people from her country get a chance to leave the country and get out and see the world. This is such a privilege for someone like her.
Mais il reste un deuxième saut à présenter.
And her second vault is actually flipped around. She does a more difficult, higher valued vault second, which is very, very rare. This is named after another great gymnast, Cheng Fei from China. This is what she'll do. She'll do a half turn onto the board. Then she'll jump backwards, do a half turn onto the table, a front flip with 1.5 twists. Super difficult. And it was good, but a big step on the landing.
Well, to be able to return to competition and have the chance to go home to North Korea with a medal, these next few minutes have to be excruciating.
And in the event finals, it really does come down to the landing because the difficulty level is almost equal between all of the competitors.
And she is going to be able to take home to North Korea a medal from the World Championships. One last one to go, and it's a big one. Michaela Maroney of the United States.
I called her state-of-the-art last year, and she is still that. Watch her fly. Oh! I don't know if they're going to give her a stick for that, but that was fantastic.
And Nastia, tell me, is there any way on earth that she stands at the beginning of the runway in a competition like this and doesn't have a bad flashback?
You know, I think on this vault, she is so confident. It's not even about making it on her feet. It's about sticking it. It's about that landing, and she almost had it. But I think on the second vault coming up, there has to be a little bit of a flashback to her still.
Well, you know, remember, I said in London, and I firmly believe this, that she was, of all the athletes, of all the sports, the biggest lock for a gold medal in the entire games. And it just shows you why you got to play the game, because we showed you that second vault where she sits down. She'll do the exact same one right here. You see that 1/10 penalty? That means that she landed outside of the line.
Ladies and gentlemen,
makes her job a little bit tougher here.
Michaela Maroney.
She had the green light.
For Michaela Maroney out of America.
A little bit of a redemption for her too, especially after the Olympic Games this last year.
And her second vault, 4/10 higher in start value or maximum score than Simone Biles. So that step forward will mean nothing. Back-to-back world champion with a disappointing for Michaela silver in 2012 at the Olympic Games. And what drives her now is that road to Rio.
Well, it may not knock that memory to the back row, but it's in the middle of the bus, maybe.
I don't know. I think, believe it or not, I think even if you go all the way to Rio, you win a gold medal, I think it's still there, Al.
And she's got it. Michaela Maroney has back-to-back gold medals on the vault. And with Simone Biles silver, the United States stands at 5 at these World Championships. Uneven bars next. In Antwerp, Belgium, Michaela Maroney soared like she usually does. And on this day, she won her second World Championship gold medal side by side with Simone Biles, her American teammate. Here's what she had to say of her World Championship success.
It feels very great to come back after all that has happened. You know, I've definitely had some doubts in my head where, can I do it? Am I in shape enough to do it? You know, there's other girls that are coming up and have been working for years to get like Simone, who hasn't stopped training. So it definitely, she motivated me a lot, and I'm so proud of her. She's handled this whole experience. So she blows my mind. She's crazy. But I'm very happy with how today turned out, and I can't wait to go back in the gym and train some more.
To the uneven bars in Antwerp, and the United States has qualified the maximum 2 here as well. That would be Kyla Ross and Simone Biles.
They actually qualified the maximum 2 for the all-around and 2 on each of the 4 events.
Yao Jinan, and there have been some serious disappointments for the Chinese at these Worlds. Numerous mistakes.
But this bar routine is amazing. It's amazing, and then it gets ridiculous. Watch this combination here. Super hard. The all-around finals did this great. Very difficult. It's called a Mo. Oh! A double forward flip, 1.5 actually, over the bar. Mitch Gaylord from the 1984 U.S. team, he invented that skill on high bar.
And if I told you that day that sometime soon women would be doing it, what would you have said?
Not possible. But she is capable of doing it. She caught it perfectly well in the all-around finals.
How crazy is this to you, Nastia?
It's mind-blowing. Just like Tim said, I would never have imagined a female gymnast to be doing this skill.
And she really, I thought that she was going to win this event, to be perfectly honest.
And I do think if she would have caught that bar, she would have won.
No chance of that.
14.633. Looks like she's okay. She's in first for now, but there's a lot of gymnastics still coming up here.
And here's her teammate. Chinese are just so technically correct on every single skill that they do. And one of the most important things on the uneven bars is doing all of these spins and turns and landing on top of the bar in a handstand.
Would you say it's safe to say that in the United States, the best coaches wait for gymnasts to come to them, where in China, the best coaches go out and get?
Well, absolutely. Just not the coaches. Their whole system goes out and gets them. They're found in a little village somewhere sometimes, and they go on to a province team, a regional team, and then they're sucked into that national system that is, it just is like a machine. Similar to the Soviet Union. It's really the only one left in the world right now.
And she will be in first place right now with a 15.4. One of the better results for the Chinese gymnast so far.
A very big number.
Still to come, Americans Kyla Ross, the Russian star Aliyah Mustafina, and the new all-around gold medalist Simone Biles. Pacific, right here on NBC. In Antwerp, Belgium, rich in history, and now Simone Biles is part of it. She's the gold medal all-around champion, trying to win another medal on the uneven bars.
And what patience right at the top. She was a little bit under on that handstand. Somebody with less nerve would have panicked. Not this young lady. It's her trickiest combination from high to low.
Used to be one of her weakest events, and if somebody would have said she would be competing at the World Championship uneven bars event finals, I don't think some would believe, but here she is in a great routine from her.
That's her third one here in Antwerp, and they all looked pretty much the same. Combination into a release skill. Now Simone made all four, actually 5 of the event finals if you include the all-around.
En dan die andere Amerikaanse gisteren.
Got that smile on her face almost before she hits the ground.
Allround finale.
So there are 3 gymnasts to go. So even if she finishes first right now, a medal is not guaranteed, and she's second. So now she needs a little help. 14.716.
She's not going to get it from this young lady right here. You can pretty much guarantee that. See that rank 2, she came in with the second highest qualifying score. She just floats. Another big one. Beautiful. Being taller makes a lot of this more difficult, but it also makes it look more beautiful.
And she definitely uses that to her advantage. Great double out with a stick.
Well, I would think, Nastia, when you go through the ringer, that is the Marta Caroli selection process, and you wind up being a survivor there, it just sets you up for moments like this.
And you know, Simone, Kyla's teammate, actually did say that Marta makes her much more nervous than these judges. So they come out here and they are ready to take on the world and the judges.
Well, you know, it truly is amazing how error-free a gymnast Kyla Ross is. I mean, you can watch her in a training and she'll just do routine after routine and you'll go, that was exactly the same. And there's never a blatant error.
Well, Simone Biles is, in essence, playing with house money. She already has 2 medals, a gold and a silver. She'd love a complete set. But Kyla Ross is second. That knocks Simone Biles down to the bronze medal position. And there are still 2 gymnasts to go. So Hwang Hyu-dan is in the gold medal spot. She's got to survive Aliyah Mustafina and Ruby Harold. To be in the mix, Mustafina would have to be better than she was in qualifying. By a fair amount.
Yeah, absolutely. And watch this straight off the bat. She does a skill that has actually been named after her at these World Championships coming up right here, which is now the Mustafina. Very difficult, straight into another connection.
Oh, but she didn't do it. She didn't connect it. And that's going to take, I think, 2/10 away from her maximum potential score. Big dismount in combination. Step backwards,
And you know, those 2/10 could definitely cost her either the gold, silver, or bronze medal.
yeah,
That wasn't just one step at the end, though,
no,
Tim.
actually it wasn't. She took one step and then another slide. There is the Mustafana, but right here, when she transitions to the low bar, she's supposed to go right back up to the high bar, doesn't do it. And then let's look at the steps. One back, another back, and
Almost
a slide.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Simone Biles gets knocked out by Mustafana. Oh, you know, just aesthetically, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Still in the lead.
Remember, Mustafana, the reigning Olympic champion on the uneven bars, and, you know, she could have done it.
So here's the 7th qualifying score. Ruby Harold. And is she capable of finishing on the podium?
Well, really not. Not to be brutal, but she's got a very interesting exercise. She does 2 moves. This one right here, check this out. A full twisting pack salto from high to low. And watch this, I've never seen anybody do that before. Just doesn't have some of the aesthetics.
But she's showing great potential. And, you know, this is a great, very strong routine from her.
Without a doubt. I mean, a very unique exercise. That's not going to medal, though, right there.
And that's what the scoreboard says. China is going to get a much-needed medal, especially when you consider it's gold. The United States has its 6th medal of these World Championships. Simone Biles just misses.